push record.
I think I pressed record as well.
Wow,
So
then
we're
we're good. Then we're already rolling.
We're ready to roll.
We're rolling
Yes.
already.
Here we are, it's day one, Marco.
Day one
Day
of
one.
this fantastic conference. The location, I was just talking right now with Abbas how I want to live here.
It's a
On the
pretty cool
river.
spot. Yes. Cool spot. I have to say, I walked, the day I arrived, I walked to the beach. The beach has a good vibe. You'd recognize it. It has a very Santa Monica, Venice Beach kind of vibe. Maybe not as nuts and crazy and chaotic, but very cool.
Santa Monica without the crazy? That's hard. That's hard to imagine. But okay, sorry,
Exactly.
Santa Monica. That's okay. But here we are, not in Santa Monica, in
We're not in Santa
Melbourne,
Monica.
Australia. We are covering this fantastic event so far, and if we're here, it's because of this guy, Abbas. So good to see you.
So good to
We
see
can
you.
thank you for this.
Absolutely, my pleasure. I wanted to bring the world here. You know, this is the happening conference of Australia. So glad you guys made it all the way.
Very cool spots,
Yeah.
and it's always great to see you. And if people check the social posts, we got an extra special gift.
Yes,
yep.
the Tim
Tim
Tam,
Tams.
Aussie's Tim Tam, favorite of the world.
Yes, exactly. And I'm gonna quickly tell my story because I teased it in
Yes.
an earlier post. So
That's true.
just very quickly, I don't want to bore everybody, but I was building security management, basically a SIM product for Symantec. No, it wasn't the SIM. We were building an antivirus we bought from Intel, and there were some challenges with the delivery, and it was the team in Australia that said, this is not going to fly if we let this release like this.
Yeah.
And it was with their support and collaboration that we were able to change the mind of the executive team at Symantec to say, we need to hold off, address these issues, and then release it to the world. Best decision ever, thanks to the team here in Australia. Their thanks to us back in Santa Monica was boxes and boxes and boxes of Tim Tams.
Tim Tam. That's the story of Tim Tam.
So for months I was eating, and the team was eating Tim Tams in the office. It was fantastic. So I have a special place in my heart for the
Tim Tam
the
all the
Aussie,
way.
well, the Aussie team, and then the Tim Tam was a bonus. So
Absolutely.
just same as you, a special affiliation and connection with you. Tim Tam was a bonus. So that's my short story anyway.
That's a great story.
But it's fun, it's good to be here, and a lot of smart people, a lot of good things taking place here in Australia. Thus far, for me, it's been a lot about user awareness, the human elements, and understanding how, not just that we have our own responsibility, but how do we actually connect with people to drive better outcomes in our security programs and our privacy programs. And I don't know, Marco, what do you think?
I am just excited to be here, and I want to hear what Abbas has to say, because you've been involved with the association here, the AISA, for a while.
Yep.
And so we just had a conversation with Jinan Budge from Forrester on how she was member number 71
I think so,
or
yeah.
77. She wasn't remembering exactly which one was. And I think you've been involved with them for a long time. So tell us how this event grow over the year and the association itself.
Absolutely. So I remember very well 11 years back when I moved here, and I was looking to join some society or association, and this one came to be one of the best one. All the bunch of CISOs as well as those who were ISC Square, CISSP people, and I think my membership number is around 1,200, something like that. Not too far from Jinan, but around 1,000 people. Not many people in security. And this conference used to happen somewhere in Docklands, not too far from here, in a shade. It was completely free. Not too many vendors as well. It was a one-day event where people would come, represent some talk and do a networking and a nice dinner at the end. It was a perfect place. And then they grew it from 500 to 1,000 people they expanded this conference to 1.5 days. They moved to Sydney, and they used to rotate Melbourne, Sydney. And today we see 7 different tracks running. They're getting speakers from all around the world, from Hollywood stars to Captain Sully.
Yeah.
Visited a few years back, and we have Carl Pan coming in this year as well.
Yeah.
So it has grown as a big institute, one of the biggest not-for-profit organization, where the membership has grew more than 10,000 people. And what you see today, this has attracted more than 10,000 people. I think we are trying to replicate what we do in RSA conference in US. This is our mini RSA, including the RSA bootcamp which we had yesterday.
That's right.
So
Yeah,
lot of learning.
you guys are working with them right now. Yeah.
From lock picking to ethical hacking to career village run by a few of the people here, and it has gone big, covering GRC, governance, risk, compliance, security, legal. So it has gone not just for security purpose, but it is now covering all the phases of security under what you can think about, from physical to the legal part to governance, risk, and compliance.
Yeah. I have to say, you can tell that it's already a bigger size.
Yeah.
But it's still, for me, from what I've seen today, I still have that feeling of you can talk with everybody easily. It's not that big conference. There is still that community feeling.
Everyone knows everyone. You know,
exactly.
That's the best part of Australia.
Yeah.
We are far off. We are a big country, but not that many people.
Yeah.
And security is a very small community. You'll bump into each other. You'll say hello. You know them if you are here in the industry.
It's really nice.
So we like that human touch.
People from Sydney, Canberra, Adelaide. I don't know, all over.
All over the place. Yeah, New Zealand, Tasmania. We have people coming all the way from everywhere. Yeah.
Very cool. So, Sean, you were curious, I remember, to ask him what's going on in this side of the world as a CISO, as a person who's been involved at the business level for a long time.
Yeah, so obviously I care deeply about security operations. What I often sometimes refer to as the business of security. How do we drive business value, looking and leveraging security and security information? So what are some of the things you're seeing and hearing from attendees, from companies that you work with in the area and abroad?
No, absolutely. So every year we have some sort of a theme, and being working for a big cloud company here and all, I see a lot of changes happening around the region in terms of the various threat actors. So I want to share in terms of what are the various threats we see in Asia and Australia as compared to what we see in other part of the world. You know, here the ransomware is still one of the biggest threat what we see in this part of the world as well. We are seeing the concerns from the CISO is, apart from the ransomware, what we see is concern about the AI. Everyone's talking about AI, Gen AI. And the challenge they have right now is every employee wants to try the AI. But companies are not fully prepared to embrace this. And the main reason is the data. AI loves data. Gen AI loves data. And if you haven't done your homework in terms of securing your data, in terms of governance, your classification, if you haven't done the right access control on your SharePoint in terms of who access what, AI is going to go and detect everything and answer you everything. If you ask them, what's my CEO salary or where is the confidential data, it's going to come up. Which is the topmost concern today for the CISO in this part of the world. They need to do the basic hygiene of security first. That's what I see here people are talking about. I mean, every vendor is saying AI is the biggest thing, right?
So the DPA is a recent act, right? The Data Protection Act, is that correct?
Data Protection, Data Privacy Act has been there for a while, and now very soon we'll be seeing more legislation coming up on AI as well, usage of AI and all.
And being deeply involved in the cloud as well, for years I've heard rumblings of sovereignty. And we just spoke with an organization on the show floor from the UK talking about connections with Australia and the UK and relationships of a sovereign nature. Maybe technology not physically on Australian soil, but in connection with friendly country. Your view on sovereignty and kind of where that sits in relation to Australia specifically, and maybe other things you see there too.
No, absolutely. When it comes to data sovereignty, government and defense are very particular, and that's the reason all the big cloud vendors have multiple data centers here. We see data centers specifically designed for these kind of customers who wants to make sure that data is on the soil. So similar to GDPR, of course, we also have the customers who are very much working in a multi-national kind of environment, and when it comes to keeping the data or the cloud services, there are specialized organization or data center provider who design their control so that data can be here. Similar to Microsoft as well. I mean, they have multiple data center, one dedicated for federal and defense as well. So it is a thing. But from the private sector point of view, they are not too much particular because they get the service mostly available here in the region. Apart from some service which are being delivered from a larger data center from the countries like US and all.
But I'm thinking, just in your AI example, like a ChatGPT.
Yeah.
I don't know, is that considered sovereign?
No, it's not. Yeah, it's not, because right now it's more of an open thing,
right?
Not much visibility, and that's why you will see some of the vendors on the floor who are providing that kind of a solution which can do the governance part on the publicly available AI like Gemini or name it, or ChatGPT name it, or many hundreds of them we are seeing every day. Yeah. So that's one of the concerns which CISO has today.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, one of the things I always wonder, and I bring this up a lot, is like legal and government, of course, getting involved, some less, some more, depending where you are, which side of the Pacific or which side of the world. But then there are companies like Microsoft, Amazon, and all of that they're like international company. And then there is the smaller business that use your clouds, their clouds. Kind of my brain exploded at that point because how do you silo regulation for one country, but at the same time, then the data comes from all over the world? I mean, is there a secret formula?
No, not secret formula. So customer have a choice. I'm sure you know how cloud operates, or whenever they fire up a cloud service, the option has been given to them. Where do you want this service to be hosted? You can pick and choose. Of course, if you host it in US, it's much cheaper for them. If you host it in Australia, if you select Australia as an option, Australia East, Australia West, whatever, there's a plus minus variation because of the dollar value and all, but you have an option. So the option is been given directly to the end user itself. You pick and choose. If you don't have that service running within the country, we qualify that saying that this service is available or being served to you from Singapore or from the larger regions such as US, but not from Australia. But data, you can keep it here. Services offered from there, but data you can keep it here because your tenant is where you define your tenant is.
So they have the freedom to do that independently from where you are located.
I think all big cloud provider provides you that option and gives the onus back on the end user. Then you pick and choose where you want to keep the data.
In the US, many states. Some states have privacy laws. There's no national privacy law in the US. There is in Europe.
California, for example.
Right, California. What's the state of affairs in Australia? Does each state operate differently, or is it a national?
From the Australia Signal Directorate point of view, and from the national point of view, we have frameworks like IRAP. We have frameworks like Essential 8, which most of the organizations, small, medium, and large, especially in the federal and local government, they all follow that. There are a few specific requirements for industry as well and for local government. For example, Victoria has something called VPDSS, Victoria Public, some full form directory services or policy services. So some states have their specific requirement for that particular state. New South Wales have a specific requirement for their government institutes. Victoria has something like that, and other states may have it. But they all, at the end of the day, follow the national one, which is IRAP, which is the single certification for anyone who wants to operate in that area. They get audited as well, they get certified as well, so you can certify your data center or a service against IRAP, which is a detailed set of requirement derived from frameworks such as NIST 853 or NIST CSF. It is derived from there, but we have localized that version in the country as well.
And so what does that mean? I'm thinking in terms of policy and controls and audit. Is the national like the strictest level, and then there's just who you report it to at the state level?
Absolutely. So I used to work for Victoria government before joining KPMG or Microsoft, and we used to get audited by a body called VAGO, Victoria Auditor General Office, which is specifically to Victoria, which is Melbourne as a city and Victoria as a state. So they would come and audit us and make sure our controls are in alignment with their requirement. Similarly, New South Wales also have something similar, which local council have to abide with.
Got it.
So there are local level, but at the country level, we have Essential 8 and things like for FSI industry, we have something called APRA, Australia Prudential Financial Security, or APRA CPS 234, and there are quite a few couple of other standards from APRA, FSI point of view. Healthcare also have, for example, Victoria or Australia have a specific requirement for healthcare, especially if they are using the cloud services. So there are many such small versions of it, but at a bigger level, it's all Essential 8 and Australia Signal Directorate or IRAP requirement, which they can follow.
So it's all soup. You just pick and you have different flavors of soup.
Yeah, then you have absolutely.
Listen, I want to do a little flashback because
Yes.
you know
We're missing a part.
in 2019 we had another escalator on
Similar
this
like
side,
this, yes.
and we were in Singapore, not here, but we kind of want to recreate
Yes,
you know,
let's
that,
recreate.
that feeling, because that's when we met you. Thanks to Diana Kelly. Hi, Diana.
Hi, Diana.
miss
I miss you here.
Shout out to you. You're amazing. And so I want to go back to, I think we had kind of a similar conversation asking you, what you see in the region.
Yeah.
That was, 5 years ago. Lot happened.
A lot happened.
Did you predict something that didn't happen back then, or something unexpected that you see maybe throughout the pandemic that kind of changed the course of what cybersecurity has been going?
Two things have surprised me since our last talk. First one is on a zero trust. After pandemic, zero trust concept, which was, again, Jinan must have spoken to you from Forrester.
Yeah.
That's a gift from Forrester, that zero trust. Dr. Chase Cunningham, as we call it, Dr. Zero Trust, gave it to the industry. So zero trust has taken a bit of a market in terms of, everyone talks about how can you apply those principles of zero trust. That was one which I never thought people would think about working from home, and it could become a norm as such. Although when I joined 2018 in Microsoft, I was a home employee from the day one. But the whole world changed after pandemic and after we met in 2019. And after that, RSA never had any RSA APJ version, so that's why we couldn't see you after that.
That's why we're here.
That's why I had to call you here. You need to come here
hey,
now.
you guys.
That was the first aha moment, and the second one I never predicted or seen, that AI would go such a mainstream.
Yeah.
Everyone is talking about. Every kids are talking about. My kids now using AI as a day-to-day work for universities and writing theses and projects report and everything, including myself. I mean, look at where we are, how AI has become such a general commodity item, and everyone is talking about. So these two things I never predicted, which could come so early. People were talking about the metaverse and digital twin and quantum. We left everything behind, and focus has moved completely on Gen AI. Think of it now, quantum coming up and catching up slowly. Let's see how it's going to make the next year look like.
And do you think these two events complicated cybersecurity or just changed it?
Not two, but I would say zero trust simplified it. It made everyone think that, hey, I think there is a way to work remotely and to secure organizations also in a remote fashion. You don't have to worry about everything keeping on-prem and leverage cloud and leverage these concepts of zero trust. That simplified things. What has complicated is now AI. So, and I'm sure over the time it will simplify as well. Now more and more companies are investing in this technology. They are making it more usable on things, but people have to catch up. I just gave the example.
The beginnings is always
tough.
Let's freak out.
Data security, access control, identity is the future as well. So once these 2 or 3 things are managed, access control, identity, and data, and then it will be easy for everyone to leverage AI on a day-to-day life.
Yeah. And looking at those too, so zero trust to me is well defined-ish. In terms of, what you set the boundary and you operate within that boundary.
The boundary. Set of principles.
Whereas AI is completely the opposite, right? Where before, I often talk about this on some of the episodes that I've recorded, where when I was in QA, you could write use cases and test cases and again set boundaries of what was acceptable and what wasn't. With AI, it's a free-for-all. It's endless, boundless.
Absolutely.
And it's going to be hard to put a box around it and say this is what is acceptable, this is what not acceptable.
Well, not only is hard, but you limit AI.
Yeah, if you then box it in, then you're limiting it, and it's...
You can't block it. You have to educate people on how to write a right prompt. When CISOs are asking me, what can I do? Can I block the ChatGPT and Copilot? I said, that's not an option. People will go home and try it.
Right.
Better give them a user awareness. Better teach your people how to ask the correct
User
prompt.
awareness,
Yeah.
Prompt engineering is something we need to teach, which is what Microsoft did it to their employee. Here is how to write the prompt. We have created the library of the prompts. Use this prompt to ask these questions and get your life easier. So awareness and education is the way to go, rather than blocking things in your company.
From a, maybe as we wrap here, from an operational perspective, I love this. Marco hates it.
No, I don't hate
Where
it. It's your thing.
do you see AI helping with certain things? I'm thinking refining policies, keeping policies up to date, defining where controls need to be applied, helping with user awareness, setting configurations for cloud services. I don't know. Those are just things that come to mind. I don't know if any of them are working well or not, but what are you seeing and hearing in that regard?
Let's pick one example of a security operation, right, where your analysts are spending 5-6 dashboard looking at it, thousands of alert. We call it alert fatigue. So AI is definitely helping them in triaging the incidents by asking them a simple English question. Rather than they're learning the Python and the scripting and KQL, they can simply ask the question on Copilot for Security as an example. What are the top threats in my company? Even a CISO or a CIO can just simple prompt and they would get it, okay, these are the 5 things they are targeting, or these are the 5 top tickets open. So it's making it easier for everyone to enter the job market. Even a simple fresh graduate analyst can work in a security operation and be effective from the day one, because everyone knows English in a way, right? Soon we will have other languages also on AI, but right now English is the thing people can ask in a simple manner. So the way attackers are leveraging today, like we have seen Storm 558 and Midnight Blizzard and many other nation-state actors leveraging AI for translation service, analyzing the code, identifying the vulnerability. Same things now Defender are also using the security operation, how to analyze this vulnerability I have and quickly apply it using AI. Hey, just go and apply this patch on all my vulnerable server. One simple English line and it is done the job. So it is the speed and the agility which AI is giving to the Defender. It's something enormous. I have one statistics actually. It takes how much? Less than 72 minutes for an attacker to come inside your network and get out. Less than 60 minutes, as a matter of fact. Time is reducing. So we need Defender to also apply this and controls all this attack within 60 minutes. If it is more than that, you are losing.
Yep.
So we need to be par or be better than the attacker in that space, and only way to do it is leveraging AI within the operation center.
And the bottom line, you can't stop it. It's
You
like
can't stop
saying you're not going to get phished if you don't use email.
Yeah.
Well, that's not going to happen. It's not going to happen, and you're not going to use AI.
Yes.
Well, I'm cutting you off email.
Yeah.
That's all I know.
You should.
Absolutely.
Well, I am glad that we're here.
Me too.
I'm glad that we got to chat with you. We'll hang out a little bit more, of course, in the next few days.
Yes.
And I don't know.
See
Maybe we'll
you
be
and the
here
rest of the
next
team
year
down
again.
at Microsoft.
Yeah.
Why not?
Why
Why not? Why not?
Maybe we'll be
Maybe
back
even-
in RSA
maybe
or
even
anywhere.
Oh yeah, of
Canberra.
course. We'll see
Canberra.
you.
You're thinking
Yeah.
of coming? Yes,
I don't
Canberra.
I
is
know. We'll
very
see.
government focused, but why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
We will see, but I know we'll see you around. in
I'll
the
be
US
around,
as well,
if not
so.
here, then some part of the world.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The world is small.
It is. It is. It's amazing. Abbas, thank you so much.
Oh, my pleasure. It was so good to see you both
Good to see
after
you.
many years and creating the
Yes.
memory
I know.
again.
I know.
We
I hope
always
you-
stayed in touch, which is the
Absolutely.
important
Yes,
thing.
yes,
Yes.
yes.
Thanks
I think we
thanks
caught up
to
in
technology.
RSA. Yes.
And thanks to Akash and Megan for making it happen. For the
Yeah,
introduction.
absolutely.
Yeah.
We're thrilled to be here. Grateful for the conversations and
Enjoy the Tim
connecting.
Tam.
The
Oh,
Tim
yeah.
Tams. We're going to be eating all those. They're not going to make it home, I don't think.
And
Now you can get
everybody,
it on airport.
stay tuned. We'll still have conversation in our room. Well, conversation here on the stairs. Couple
Yeah.
more coming up today, actually, and then we're gonna wrap and
Enjoy the
and then
beautiful
there's
weather.
day 2 and day
The sun is out.
3. So
Sun is
sun
out.
is out.
So
which-
we'll enjoy the
Great.
sun.
Yes.
Should we
Thank
give
you,
them a view?
everybody.
We
Thank
should
you.
give them a view. Thanks.
Yeah, we can
Yes,
show.
that's
We
the
can.
view.
You give it a view, Sean.
the
You're
view.
the cameraman.
Look at the river and the sun.
There you go. Look at that. We need to go for a walk.
Perfect.
All right,
Just like that.
just like that.
Your old office, Abbas.
Yes. KPMG.
All right, see
Not
you,
a
everybody.
bad place. you.